무거워.
여기에 세울 거야 여기.
아 여기?
됐어?
오케이. So this is our office, but yes, more chanko. What do you think? How many days?
이거? 오늘 안에 끝내야지.
오늘? 오늘 못 끝나. 알았어.
그럼 일단
We need
쓰레기
two
먼저.
box.
어?
Two box. One box 쓰레기, one box. 안 버린 거? 다른 거? Next time I'm gonna bring you one again. I think it's this one.
The cherry one, I had it at the Vespucci. Oh, they used to do this a lot when I was young. You remember these cards?
I'm not sure what the exact pronunciation is, but it's actually very effective to lose body fat. Yes. And there has been a lot of experiments.
드릴 수 있어요. 증권으로 받아갈 수 있어요.
Yeah. So this and this one.
Okay.
I chose this one.
Okay.
감사합니다.
You're the lecturer.
I'm like,
Perfect. Thank you so much.
찰진
Like not too much because sometimes it's like too much. But it's too much. 기다려.
사랑 사랑. Freaking freezing. What the hell?
No, it's not that cold actually. Yeah.
So cute.
What is this?
I know. I wanna like.
But you already have one like this. Color you like it better? Pink or yellow? Yellow is nice, right?
On here because the yellow and the white look nice together. This one just a little bit darker.
Large.
You probably have some pink stuff. I feel like I've tried this before.
Cute.
Oh, it's like for
Side dishes and sauces and stuff. Oh my god.
side dishes is actually perfect. These ones.
먹어. 호빠? 호빠?
나도 해볼래.
Wer kann die gucken?
야, 이거는?
Das ist eine Zwiebel.
이거는?
Magst du probieren? Das ist Ei.
이거 먹어볼래.
Das ist doch Fleisch, oder? Das müssen wir dann noch im Burger reingeben, das Brot reingeben. Weißt du, das kann man jetzt so nicht essen.
햄버거?
Ja, genau, Hamburger machen. Schmeckt das halt?
햄버거?
Hamburger.
응? 하나 햄버거 좋아하는데.
Schmeckt dann.
입에지.
Ich liebe dich, Fanta. Danke.
많이
Ja, weiter.
맛.
Macht dir Spaß? Mit der Mami kochen? Wow. Sehr frei von Mami.
엄마가 좋아.
Lange heiß? Lange lieb?
고구마.
Chapati hat Salat. Zum Beispiel ist Was will ich essen? Mit der Tasche, mit der Gabel. Genau.
바이바이. 바이바이.
Bye bye.
야. 바이바이 했다.
Hast
바이바이.
du bye bye gesagt? Hier mal.
우리 여기다 넣고.
Das ist Zitrone. Knoblauch rein.
나
Hm.
햄버거.
Hamburger. Käse. Oh, ein Weichkörner.
봐봐.
Scheint oder raus?
다음에 올릴래?
Danke. Okay. Nuller?
네.
Scharf, genau.
응?
Aber,
뭐?
여기. 했어, 이미?
어떤 거 같아? 카페?
하나만 일단 이거 이렇게 할까? 여기 뒤에